Hey, Paul here, working on a 4600 today. Just wanted to show you how I take apart the 4600. It's a very modular chassis. It comes apart in one, two, three, four, five pieces I take apart. And I address every piece. I usually start off with the main board here. These header pins right here, here, and here always need a good reflow. They get cracked solder joints often. And I reflow those. These red wires here, I hear a lot of people asking questions about them. They are a factory mod for the 4600 to add a couple extra controls on this card to make adjustments easier. So never take these red wires off. They're there from the factory for a reason. Just leave them alone. All the big parts, like this, the flyback connector here, I reflow that. All the header pins have been reflowed. I always put new caps in. These transformers always get cold solder joints. You need to reflow them. Very important. This seems to be the standard now. I see this cap going bad quite often. Here's the original one. It's an original paper cap. I replace it with I believe it's a poly cap now. That's what the replacement is. Now this cap goes way out of spec, or it just completely dies. I usually move on to the sink board, the horizontal sink deflection board. This guy has a lot of cold solder joints as well. It always requires reflowing the header pins here. Everything else is very small resistors that usually don't get cold solder joints. Fresh caps. I like to reflow these big heat sinks. They get cold solder joints sometimes. This the color board pretty much controls. It's also the sink input, the RGB input and the sink input. Same as the first board, daughter board. You reflow the header pins there and there. They love getting cold solder joints. It causes a lot of problems. This board only has 2 capacitors on it. Sometimes it doesn't have any capacitors on it. Sometimes it'll have 1 capacitor on it, depending on the model of the 4600 we're working with. Here's the regulator power board. I usually give that a good reflow. Again, it has the same header pins. Give that a good reflow. It only usually has 2 or 3 caps on it, depending on the model. This one has 2 caps on it. Pretty standard. Flyback is right here. I usually give the neck board a good reflow. It usually gets really bad solder joints around where the neck pin sits and where the control knobs are. They get cold solder joints as well. And any connectors. That connector needs to be reflowed. Connectors are always good to reflow. So are the transistors. They get bumped around and get cold solder joints. I'll put this guy back together and we'll see if it works. See you.